Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. How you guys doing, Zack, Michael, Andrew?
Great.
I'm good.
Michael, you look a lot better. I would say.
Better.
A lot
I
better.
was sick before. No, I got a new camera. Not for this, for school. I'm gonna say it was for school because I don't want to show that much dedication to this.
Yes.
Oh. Dang.
Okay.
Was that a jab at Alex?
No,
It's a jab
but
at me, I bet.
He puts a lot of pressure on me to get my tech ready to go for this.
Well, it's just because for the longest time, your little camera that you had would have so many pixels on your face all the time.
Yeah.
So it'd be oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm
Zack
sorry.
looks pretty good. We look aight. I was just it was just Michael that was a little behind.
It's always just Michael. I loved how one day Zack was just I set up a webcam now, and I was like, you just had one lying around?
It's super old though. I probably need a new one, but this will do for now.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you look a lot better. I can see more of your room in HD. Got a lot of clothes
Are you in
right
a different
there.
spot
I don't like that. You can see more into my private life.
Yeah, are you in a different spot?
No, same spot. Just
Same spot?
the
Okay.
webcam captures way more. It seems like it has a fisheye effect that makes everything behind me look rounded out, but it's not. How's Andrew doing?
Good.
Oh, you're kind of freaking me out.
He's a bit disappointed. We were gonna have a guest on today, I thought, but then when I texted him, he had to do other things. So
He
hopefully
looks like
next
a
week.
kid who just got
okay.
a lollipop stolen right out of his hands.
Yep.
He's so pissed.
I think he's fine, right? You're good. You just look like that.
I'm good.
Yeah, he's good. How you doing, Zack?
I'm doing great. I'm just so happy that Michael is now in the 21st century with the rest of us.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I was updating my phone today. It took a long time. It was starting to scare me. It was probably
iOS
an
14?
hour. Yeah.
Ooh.
It took an hour, and it kept restarting the progress bar. I didn't know what was happening. I was just okay, I guess I have no phone. It's not gonna fucking ever finish updating. It did. Luckily.
Michael, you're gonna need to give us a little bit of a week from now, because I'm assuming it's done updating, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Just let us know how it's going, because I've heard there's a lot of problems. Because I guess they shadow dropped iOS 14, and they didn't tell any of the app developers, so none of them had any updates ready. So I guess there's a lot of problems that people are running into with things just crashing or just going bad, because Apple was just hey, look at this, it came out, and everybody's
So far,
think
I've
I
had
know
no
better.
problems, so I think I'm okay so far. But I don't know about you guys.
They might
should've
be
asked
be
Zack.
fixed by now, but I heard that first day was a nightmare for a lot of people.
And this is the first year that they didn't announce a new phone too, so it's ooh, this is different. New watches, yeah, no new phone.
Oh dang! Because they already had their event, right? Announcing the new iPad and watch.
Yeah, they had it this past week. So yeah, they had that. New watches, I think, pretty cheap too. I think there was a watch that was $199. I mean, shit, that's not too bad. I think.
Will you guys replace your watches? I know you guys have the what do you call them?
yeah,
Apple
they do.
watches?
Apple Watch, yeah. No, I'm not gonna replace mine. Mine's still good. I still use it mainly for just a basic watch. I don't use it for a lot of things. I mean, I use a timer a lot on the watch, but I feel it does enough for me to not upgrade. I'm completely fine, I think.
Okay.
I would assume the same for you though.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you guys? Would you guys get a new Apple Watch? Since it's only now $199. I know it's not the highest
Is that
end one.
a terrible version, like how they had the plastic iPhone?
I don't think
that
so.
one
I
time?
think I'm not too sure, but I saw the price. My brother, not this guy, my other brother was talking about it, that he might get that one.
Does he not have one already?
He doesn't have one now. He has a
Okay.
Fitbit, and he's been wanting to upgrade for a while. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
I mean, I know absolutely nothing about it because I'm now just hearing about it. So maybe after more research, if it's super great, maybe.
It could be, yeah.
I don't know if I want one. I'm fine with a normal watch. I don't think
Yeah,
I need all the
Michael's
fancy
still
doodads.
he's hesitant to go into the 21st century with that.
Still, yeah.
Well, that's different from a phone. You need a phone. You don't need a fucking Apple Watch.
Well, it's nice to like do like quick replies, like if you're in a text message, because it has some like auto, like generated, so like you can just like if you want to put like okay to something, you can just like tap it on your phone and that's it. It sends it off right away.
That's
so
true.
like it's very quick and easy. It's nothing like to like be like on it like the whole day or whatever, because it's still just a watch, you know.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes like I do something, put my phone away, and then like 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh, I gotta do something else. And I keep like turning it off and turning it on, like putting it back in my pocket, taking it out. I'm like, man, this can't be good for my phone, but especially how fast I do it sometimes. But I don't know, still don't want to watch. I'm not there yet.
I didn't want one either, like because I had a traditional watch, you know, and I was fine with it. But now that I have an Apple Watch, I wear it every day, so it's like it's just like a normal watch for me. So I guess it's like, you know, it's just like adapting to it. I guess like once you have, it's gonna be weird for a bit, but then you're like, oh, it's just my watch now. Like I don't even think of it as an Apple Watch. It's just my watch. So,
There's a uniqueness of the old kind of watches, though. Everyone's walking around with an Apple
It's
Watch.
hipster
the
now.
Same square and strap on everyone's wrist.
Yeah.
Well,
A
what
lot
if
of
they
people
have
do.
the like the Samsung smart one?
What's that
It
one?
was like the gear
Oh, yeah,
or whatever,
yeah,
and it's a
yeah.
circle, so it looks like a normal watch, but it's not. It's a trick.
I want
Yeah.
the Spy Kids 2 watch with
Oh.
all this shit on it, except it doesn't tell time.
Do
That
we
was the
agree
only
that
thing.
Spy Kids 2 is the best Spy Kids movie,
No.
or do we disagree on that? Because I
3D.
think that
I think most of us would say 3.
really 3 over
Yes.
2, dude. I have to disagree on
Now,
that. I
Alex,
think 3
Alex,
is.
let me just ask you this question: in Spy Kids 2, is there a man just so iconic that you could just say the guy, and you know exactly what we're talking about?
Bro, I mean, the guy is like, for me, he's such a letdown in that movie, though. Because, spoiler alert, he dies within like the first 5 minutes of seeing
Elijah
him.
Wood, a letdown.
A letdown, bro,
Blasphemy.
because
He was a false prophecy. It was Junie.
but that's so stupid
It's
because
part of the beauty of storytelling, Alex. I thought you would.
You didn't see it
appreciate
coming.
that.
Plot
see,
twist.
It's a twist.
Would've been
it
expected
is a
if it was
twist.
him.
It's a twist, but it's unnecessary because it doesn't make any sense. Like he's like this is like the best guy ever. He's beaten all these levels. He's beaten all these people, and then you see him and he does the dumbest thing and he just like basically kills himself. And, dude,
it teaches
Spy
you
Kids
never
2?
meet your heroes.
Spy Kids 2, bro. Steve Buscemi as the doctor on the island. That's the best, dude. I mean,
Is he
come
not
on.
in 3?
I think he's in
in
it at the very, very end when they call upon all the
He's just
previous
still
people.
there.
Yeah, but like this one, it's like, oh, this guy's crazy. He's cool though. He's funny. I don't know. What do you think, Andrew?
What do I think of what?
Which is your favorite?
3.
3? Why?
It has Sylvester Stallone.
That's it.
It has everyone else.
You think
from the
Sylvester
previous
Stallone
movies.
is better than Steve Buscemi?
Yeah.
It's like Avengers Endgame. Like
but
they're
good.
all coming together. Yeah, but
Yeah,
better.
at the very end, it is actually better than Endgame.
No, it's not. That's a fucking lie.
Well, the
There's no
beginning.
way that's better.
You have your opinion, we have ours. That's
But
okay.
okay, yeah, I guess you could say that. And so I finally finished Away, Michael. I did
Oh, really?
last night.
You did
yep.
finish.
Did finish, yes.
You're gonna hit me with a did not like it, huh?
Okay, so let me start from the beginning.
Oh man.
So I recall last week, I think I said I liked it. Correct? I think I said I liked it.
Yes.
I enjoyed it, and I think I gave it so far an 8.2.
But you
so
weren't
far.
a fan of the family aspect of it.
I wasn't a huge fan of that. However, what I will say is this show, well, I did read some reviews after I finished. A lot of people were mad, like, oh, I thought this was going to be a sci-fi show. They clearly did not see the trailer, okay? So when I saw the trailer, I'm like, this has some sci-fi stuff to it. Space exploration stuff. But I see right through it. I know where this is going. I know where it's going. But I'm still hoping that they could kind of balance it.
Aren't they going to
Between
Mars?
sci-fi and Mars and all that, and then family. I would say
You know
about
where it's
this much
going.
is the space, and then the family and all that shit takes over, bro. And honestly, it feels like a soap opera. And wasn't a huge fan of it, to be honest with you. I feel like also the show has a very big problem with the predictability. Every episode, I knew that they were going to make it out. I knew that they were going to solve the problem. I knew they were all going to be okay, and I knew everybody was going to be all right. And cliche as fuck too, so fucking cliche, I have to say. But that's okay. That's fine. That's clearly what the show is meant for. And people who were whining about it, like not being enough sci-fi, they just thought that they were, they thought of something that was going to be something else. That was going to be something else.
You said that twice.
But I feel like, me personally, not my cup of tea.
See, and that's a problem with all episodes coming out at once. You see, though, you know they're gonna make it 10 episodes. You don't know. Maybe this is gonna be the last one. Nope.
True.
Another one.
Is that Netflix's fault then?
Yeah.
It is.
It's the fault of that kind of style of releasing a show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's Netflix's fault, but
even though just the individual episodes alone, I felt like we were just dragging on a bit throughout. The first two were pretty solid. The middle 5 or 6 were dragged a lot and stuff like that for me, and then the last 2 finally picked up, but you still kind of felt like you knew where it was going in a way. Mm-hmm. And what I meant by predictability was in the individual episodes they have a problem, right? But I knew that they were gonna make it through every fucking time though. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was, but it felt so. It just felt so I could just predict it, and I don't like that about my shows, I guess. And with this one was just so, it was more predictable than I thought it would be.
When I do that with movies and shows that you like, you tell me, fuck off, Mike. Why the fuck would you predict it? Why would you do that? You're ruining the show for yourself.
See.
Accused.
I said that.
Played.
I say that, but I try my best not to do that, correct?
No, you don't.
I try my very, very best to disband my belief and all that. But however, the cues in this show, whenever something is about to happen, are so obvious and when it's going to happen. The arc of their kid. I think her name is Lex. Mm-hmm. I knew what was going to happen immediately when they cue this up and all that. It is so predictable. It's obvious. It's very, very obvious. I feel like this show does it with every episode so that you just know what's going to happen every time. So I was a little let down by that. I thought they would kind of hide their cards a bit, but they didn't. So overall, the characters I think are pretty interesting, all of them. But I just feel oh man, it was so much of a soap opera, man. I was just oh man, this is I know it's a drama, but it's almost like they're just being way too dramatic and all that. I feel that the whole space thing is kind of just under a blanket, and you don't even have to be in space really. I mean, you could set a different story on Earth with the same exact thing happening, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like the whole space thing was a bit of a just to get people to watch it, but it's not really much. It doesn't really add more to the show, because that's not the main thing in the end.
I feel like that's your inner obsession with space coming out. Why aren't you focusing? Fuck the family. Fuck the attention. Well, the show's called Away.
I'm saying that because it just seems to get eyes on what they want you to see, and then putting it in space. I feel like it's no. Let me finish, because it feels like it's a waste of the budget though, because the effects on space look good, but the show isn't about that. It's about something else that you easily couldn't. You don't need to be in space to feel that kind of drama, right? That just kind of adds. Makes it look flashier and oh, this show's got a budget, yeah. But the budget seems unnecessary because you could do the same exact story on Earth with the same exact characters, just not in space. So I feel like in that way it was kind of a hey, watch this, it's in space, but it's about this, and it feels like it felt like a network television show at times, sort of cheesy and kind of just not my thing.
None of the stuff that you're talking about even came to my mind, budget or locate or visual.
Well, only because the effects were very good, the space stuff. Yeah. But I feel like that stuff is so overshadowed, and like it does. That's not like what the show is about in a way. So I feel like with all that budget and all the space stuff is a little unnecessary in a way, because that's not what the show is about. Then that's just a thing for eye candy and to distract you. So I'm very disappointed. I would get I overall. I'm not gonna give it like a 5. No, that's because it is emotional. Sometimes emotions hit. I would give it a 6.8 out of 10. Little disappointing, but overall,
I gave it like a little over an 8. To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I kind of see though. You know what I can see though. I can see something of why this show kind of reminds me of like network television shows. Because no. But here's the thing. Because the drama in this show is so cheesy at sometimes. They always tend to say sometimes in a way their characters would feel betrayed, right? They would have a sense of betrayal, and then they'd be like, "How could you do this to me? I thought we were this. I thought we were that. I thought this." It almost kind of harkens back to when we were talking about CW shows being overly dramatic, and that stuff kind of pops up because they talk about characters and saying like, "How could you do this to me?" and stuff like that. I don't know. It just feels like it doesn't feel like a full-on Netflix production to me. It feels slightly network television in a way.
All right, I'll give you that. I can't. There's clearly no way of persuading you the other way. So.
Well, what about for
like
me and Andrew? Like, give us like your 20-second pitch, Michael.
20 seconds. Oh no.
Or at least like like tiny portion of what Alex did, because I know you don't like to do that.
All right. Well, the main focus of it is on the strains it puts on each individual member and their families, because they all have like their own stories, of stuff they're leaving behind. Because on this mission, they're gonna be gone for like 3 years, and then like every day there's like something that could go wrong. There's like points where they're gonna run out of water, so they have to come up with ways to get it. They almost blasted a hole in the ship. Some guy's foot almost came off. That was disgusting. But yeah, it's not so much focused on, like, every episode there's a new problem, but most of them it is focused on the tension either between the members because they don't trust one another, or one member is affected by something that happened on Earth and they're not in the right state of mind, so they're not going to be able to do X job. So that's what it focuses mainly on their journey to Mars. But obviously 10 episodes can't capture the whole 3 years, so there's a lot of time jumps. I don't know how they would do a second season, Alex, or if they would, because
you're right, because I think that they could, but I feel like they already did everything that they. It seems like all the characters on that ship had like they wrestled their personal demons.
Yeah,
they conquered them, right? So that's what I'm saying is like they did all that, and because the show has a lot of flashbacks, a ton of flashbacks. To get some backstory on the characters and all that. So I feel like
Arrow, am I right, Andrew?
Yep.
Flashbacks.
Tons of flashbacks. Like, episodes just full of them. But, like, it's necessary because, like, that's how you learn about the characters more, I would say. Because in the moment, they're just solving the problem, right? But, like, they go to a flashback, and that's how they develop the character. And then eventually that's how they conquer their problem. But I agree with you, Michael. I don't know if they could do a second season because feels like they already like conquered their goal in a way, so they would just have to. I feel like the rest of if they do continue, they would have to continue where they left off, but even more with the characters on Earth, which I'm not a fan of. So, hey, we'll see.
Can I just say, I thought you guys were describing completely different shows.
Yeah, a little bit.
Off of what Alex said, did not mention a single thing Michael was talking about at the beginning. I was like, wait,
he's focusing on
what was the same one?
He's focusing on what was missing from the show for him.
Not anything of the actual story. He was just focusing on his qualms with the show.
Well, okay, so the story of the show
Jesus
is it's solid, but it doesn't need to be in space.
It's just it's very grounded. It's like they don't focus so much on, like I said, like stuff that can go wrong in space. It's more wrestling their inner demons and shit like that.
And the space is just an interesting backdrop.
Yeah, because they can't.
And Alex can't stand that.
There's like so many
But
problems.
why not the spaceships?
No, that's not it. It's just like it's like.
Wait, sorry, starships.
It doesn't like. I don't know. It just like it doesn't need. I feel like the show didn't need to be in space though. That budget could have been used somewhere else, because the effects look good.
Where?
They look very good.
They're not
that.
worried about money. They got
Of course
all the
they are.
money
What
in
are
the
you
world.
talking
Oh, is
about?
it Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care.
They care, bro. They care. But Michael liked
Have you
it.
seen Marco Polo? The amount of money they just threw at the show.
If you're not gonna be pissed off about them not focusing so much on space, then it's a good show. About the drama and all that stuff that Alex spits on. Apparently,
It did not need to be in space. It did not need to be.
It
in
did.
Space. I don't think so. They could have done it somewhere else where they're
Where
away
are
from
they
their
gonna
families.
go for
yet
3
again.
years?
But
War?
no, I'm not saying war. God damn. Just they don't have. I don't know. I have
a
a problem
submarine?
with
Okay,
all that budget.
I'll give you a
crap.
scenario that made it being in space like unique, because the mom is the one that went into space.
Spoiler.
The daughter's on Earth, right? Okay, relax.
It's in the trailer.
She
No, I
She
want
gets
to see the
a-
trailer. Your ass didn't.
there's like, since they're so far away, there's like a half-hour delay from when they get messages, and then she just gets one. They didn't even send it to her. They sent it to one of the crew members. It's like, your daughter's in the hospital. She doesn't know why. That's all the message says, and she's like already dehydrating, so she's like hallucinating and stuff. And so like she thinks her daughter could be dead. She doesn't know. She won't even know till like half an hour after it happens because of the delay. But if you're on Earth, phone call. Hello, daughter's fine. Easy. Alex.
Like, what would
Space
they
makes
just
it
be like?
different.
Oh, I got no signal. It's not the same.
Yeah, so shove your budget up your ass.
That's okay, man. That's okay. You can like it. If I don't like it, it's fine. It's fine. Don't get so hostile. It's just a
It's the
show.
same to you.
You say the same to Michael. Actually.
Yeah. I want you to have the same mentality when we don't like something that you want us to like.
Absolutely.
That's
I
a
will.
lie.
No, you won't remember this.
Oh yeah, okay. Like what though? Like what have I been like so hostile about that comes up? Cause see, you don't even know, bro. You're just saying that.
The boys.
The boys, what do you mean?
You guys like the
Andrew
boys
gave you-
though.
The boys.
This season, not so much.
Oh, are
to
you
be
watching
honest. Yeah, I'm on episode like 3. I'm
Whatever.
almost done with 3.
it? Oh, you're not liking it? Damn.
Not as much as the first one.
I'm okay. I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Get him. Get him, Alex.
I for one think it's some of the best TV on.
It has lost its magic.
Sorry.
Really?
Because
How come?
when the
Without
first season
spoiling.
came
Without
out,
spoiling.
okay, when the first season came out, it was like the trailers and everything. Like, wow, this is kind of a unique show.
Mm.
It's never been done before. It's still the same stuff. Just a year later, I'm like, okay, I kind of know how the dark tone of this show.
Mm-hmm.
So the stuff that happens isn't. I don't gasp at it as much. I'm like, oh, all right.
Isn't that inevitable? So you probably should have not even watched season 2, right?
Yeah,
It's not gonna
Fuck
go
me.
happy
yeah.
unless is that what you wanted?
No, it's just more like
I think you hope that it evolves into like something new that keeps it interesting, but it didn't, at least so
Yeah.
far.
I'm still early in, so maybe it could change, could get better, but I'm trying to pace myself. Not a monster like Alex.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
only 2 episodes in as well, and
What do you-
I agree.
Oh, you don't like it either, Zach?
I mean, I
hate
like it, but like it's not like I really like the first season because I somewhat despise superheroes. So I was like,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
They're all horrible people, and and the whole show is about taking them down. But like that whole, like that was a big buy-in, but they haven't really moved on past that. Like to keep the story going, it's still
Yeah.
just like, all right, this is what we're still doing. We didn't do that yet. We're just gonna keep going. And so far, they haven't added a new twist. I think I see one coming, but they haven't added one yet where it keeps it interesting.
Mm-hmm. And you haven't seen it, right?
Nope.
Okay, gotcha. I'm all caught up. I really enjoy it. I can definitely see your guys' issues with it, but I still think it's like one of the best shows on right now. I
It's
think.
definitely it's a high quality show.
Yeah. The quality is there for sure.
Alex,
Sup?
what'd you think of PlayStation's event?
Okay, so I didn't watch it, but I did see what was coming out though.
Uh-huh.
All the games and all the stuff. And I have to say, bro, the prices, I looked into it, okay? So far,
prices, right?
the console with the disc drive and the one without are only separated by $100. But they're essentially the same, correct? Like they're identical except for without the disc drive. I think that's pretty good.
The one
I
thing
would
they
say.
haven't announced is the hard drive might be different.
How so? How is it different?
It might the size. So
Okay.
the one with the disk drive is 825 gigabytes, and they haven't technically announced the hard drive size of the one without the disk drive, and it could be
Okay.
lower because that's a way to cut costs as well.
So, but the performance-wise is
All of that
the
is
same.
exactly the same. Yeah.
The same, okay. And on Xbox, it's not, correct?
No.
Like between X and S, okay.
Nope.
So I think that's good. That's pretty smart, I would say. I mean, like, I guess like when we saw the price of the Xbox Series S and how it's different from the Series X, it's like it's a little bit downgraded a bit, like in performance-wise, but this one is like is identical, so that's cool. So now that's kind of like shade at the Xbox Series S for putting out a little bit of a dumber down console. I think that I don't know if it's like going to hinder the Xbox Series S's sales, because I personally our other brother was going to buy the Series S. Recently, he wants to buy the Series X because he sees like there is a bit of a performance difference. So like he's like, well, why would I buy the S then if I want to get the X, which is clearly better for performance and all that? I would just buy that. And the S, it's got a bit of a, it's not as cutting edge. So I don't think I'm gonna buy that. So his mind changed within that span of time. Like a few weeks ago it was S, now it's X. So I don't know if that's like gonna say like, oh, the S might do poor in sales, or if the X is gonna be like, it's good, but if it's like the PS digital, no disc drive, but it's $100 cheaper, and the world is already going to more digital, so it's like, I'm adapting to it. I don't need. It depends if you want the disc or not. Basically, if you don't want the disc, the fucking digital version all the way, right? But if you do want the disc, you're gonna have to shell out $100 more, but you keep your discs. So I guess it's all it's your preference, I guess. If I was gonna buy the PS5, I would buy the PS5 disc just because I want to have the option to do Blu-ray, watch a movie and all that. So that's where I would go. And I think Sony's doing well.
Are you saying you personally?
Yes.
Like right now?
If I was gonna
So
buy
that's
one,
assuming you're gonna sell your One X that you have now.
no, I'm not gonna
He
sell it.
said
No.
if he was gonna buy
I
the
said
PS5.
if I was gonna buy a PS5, I would buy the one with the disc drive.
But your One X that you have now is gonna do the same Blu-rays that you'd be playing in your
Yes,
PS5.
but if I wanted to upgrade to the the 8K or whatever that the PS5 does, that's better than the Xbox One X, because they are going to be better.
Blu-ray
right?
drives are the exact same.
But what if? Okay, so how about this? What if I don't want a second console
scenario.
there?
Okay,
Right.
so then you're assuming that you're gonna sell your One X.
Yes, sure, whatever.
Okay, so
If you
that's
want
what
that.
I asked at the beginning.
If I was going to evolve
man.
away from my One X and buy the
Okay,
PS5.
so then
if I was going to
that's a
make the
good argument.
switch from Xbox to PlayStation, I would buy the one with the disc drive for the movies and disc or whatever. I wouldn't fully go digital, not just yet. Even though they're pushing it and it's going to happen, I'm not there yet.
Old man.
Old man.
Old man, I mean, come on, man. You gotta.
See, Alex, I
on,
used
man.
to be with you on that. I had long been a proponent of I like having at least some games physically, especially Halo games, because I like having the collection. Like I still have Halo 1, 2, 3, all the way to 5, all of them on disc, just sitting on my shelf, and I like that. But since Game Pass came out, and I subscribed to that, I just got sucked into everything being digital. There was probably a good 3-4 months where I never even touched a disc on my Xbox, and I guess maybe about 2 months ago when they took GTA off Game Pass, and I actually had to start using the disc again. I was like, what is this horribleness now?
Yep,
like
exactly.
I am totally not used to this anymore. Like having everything digital is just way more convenient. Like I no longer care anymore.
But the thing is, if you don't buy the game, like if you don't download it onto your hard drive, and you rely on the Game Pass, whenever that game goes away, then what are you gonna do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because like,
well, then you just buy it digitally.
then you buy it then, right? But why not just buy it already? You know?
Ideally, you would get all what you need to get done within that time of having it from Game Pass.
Well,
and it's
ideally,
like, I
yeah,
don't
but
need to
like
play
a
it
game like
anymore.
GTA, I wouldn't say that, because that's like endless fun. You know, whenever you and your boys want to play GTA.
Well, anyone who
they take it
wanted
off
GTA that bad got it when it came out.
Yeah.
Like,
And then the argument is just like, okay, well then if you want to keep playing, you just buy it. And then it's, do you want to buy it physically or digitally?
Make up your mind.
Could they like kind of like, okay, so I know that they have like some games are taken off digitally like permanently though, right? Because like Indiana Jones Lego and Lord of the not Indiana Jones Lego Lord of the Rings was taken off digitally.
That's not.
And
You mean off Game Pass or like digital stores?
digital stores, so you can't even buy
I
it
didn't know
now.
that.
Yeah, so that's gone. So what if that happens and like companies want to take off their games, and then like, well, I wanted to play that, I should have bought it physically instead of downloading it, because if you download
You
it,
can
it's gone.
still technically buy it physically.
Yes,
'Cause,
but
I mean,
it's
they're
not
still
as,
out there.
I mean, sure, yeah, but it's harder to find them, I would think, because now that game is like a rare species, right? It's like numbered.
But
Well-
so even if they take it off digital stores, you still own it. They can't take it away. That just means they can't keep selling it. Like I have Lego Lord of the Rings. That's always going to be there. That can never be taken away. That's illegal to take that away.
True, but
So,
but
I
them
bought it
taking
digitally,
it
then
off,
it's
then we
always there.
sue them.
Well, that just means if
Bunch
you
of
hadn't
money.
bought it, then now you have to go look somewhere else physically.
Yeah, that's just on the fault of the user.
Yeah,
You waited too
There's
long.
not much you can do about that. That is kind of more on the user.
but I could see that. Yeah, and you're all digital, Michael.
Lately, yeah, I just been going digital. I don't know. There's not many games where I've been getting like collector's edition and stuff, just because I can't justify it anymore. Like if I'm gonna, even the ones that are like, Final Fantasy VII, the remake came out with a version that was like $700 for the game, like all the, like
Wait,
this
wait,
big
wait, wait, how
figure.
much?
You didn't hear him?
700.
It was like a second
oh my
ago.
God.
$700.
Yeah. Like those are the versions now that come with all the special stuff. Like more now, like the special editions, you get like what, like a steelbook and like some stickers. But I'm fine with just digital, honestly. I've gotten over that physically needing it, but I'm not gonna hate on anyone who does, because I can understand it.
How about you, Andrew?
I don't care. Do whatever you want.
No, but do you prefer
Just don't bug
digital,
Andrew.
physical? What are you on that?
I don't care. Physical.
Your Call of Duty that you pre-ordered, is that digital?
Yeah.
Okay. See, there you go. That's his answer.
I'll do either way. I don't have a preference.
Halo Infinite.
Andrew goes both ways.
Are you gonna buy that like just on your own,
I don't
rather
know.
than just relying on Game Pass?
Ooh. Yeah, I'll probably buy it on my own. I don't want to just rely on Game Pass for that.
I think I'm gonna
And-
sample it on Game Pass, and then I'll determine if I want to get that ish for myself. Know what I mean? What do you mean? Ugh. That's being
Michael,
safe.
come on,
That's-
Michael,
No.
come on, it's Halo.
I thought Zach would approve of this.
Michael
This is a
doesn't like
safe
Halo as
method.
much
Yeah,
as Zach
no,
or
no.
me or Andrew.
No, I honestly, I'm gonna wait to buy it. Honestly, like, cause I mean, I'm gonna have Game Pass, so I have no reason to buy it right away. But like, I will buy it, just on the off chance for whatever reason Game Pass like stops existing, so that way I still have it.
I
I'm
wanna
kind of
have
like you,
faith.
Zach. Like
Really
I would buy Halo physical for sure, because I have them all physical. But like Call of Duty or like any other game like that, probably not. But I would like. It would suck, yes, if they do take it off Game Pass. Like that would be uncool. But like, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be totally their fault. It would be my fault in a way, because like, I mean, but I guess it would determine if we wanted to play that game that day and right there. So yeah, I don't know.
Alex,
What's up?
what do you think? Did you see that news about Cyberpunk? Mr. Witcher fan?
No. What was it?
Cancel.
Canceled? No.
Oh, it's short.
Yeah.
How
a
short
short
though?
game.
How short though? Like, or is it shorter than?
All they've said is it's
10.
shorter than The Witcher 3
Really?
because
Interesting.
not many people beat it.
The whole thing with so supposedly it's going to be shorter than Witcher 3, correct?
It is.
That's what I'm getting at.
They
This.
announced that.
Not
Okay,
supposed
they
to.
announced that. I don't necessarily have a problem with that in this way. As long as you're able to get the story in of whatever you want to tell within in the time frame, I'm fine with that. All right, I understand that a lot of people are not like me who love to get lost in those games, right? I understand that. And as you know,
I'm
the
quirky. I'm
developers,
unique.
the
I like to
storytellers,
get lost in
they
the
want the
game.
gamer to complete the story and to, experience it fully. Because I know people who haven't completed The Witcher or even some of the DLCs, right? But it's like, I get that you want them to see all of the story, but I don't really see any complaints or hear complaints that it is too long, right? They don't complain like, "Oh, it's too long,
don't.
man. It's too
What,
long."
do you
But
like
I don't hear a
checking
lot.
the forums of if people are complaining? What do you mean you don't see a lot of
I
it?
haven't heard anybody complain that the game is too long. All I usually hear is, "I did not
No,
finish
Alex,
it."
I think
do a quick 360.
The
real
only
quick.
I think the only sample you have is our friend group.
Yes,
like
So
yes.
I don't know how many
Yes.
voices you could hear.
I am not
I've heard
CD
4
Project
log
Red,
voices.
but I from what I've heard, I haven't heard anybody say that the game is too long.
Fucking dead.
I've only heard that they haven't completed the game, so I didn't think that was a
means
big
it's too
problem for
long.
me. That's not what they're saying, bro. That's not what they're saying. They're saying that they either fell off, or another game came out, and that's why they did not complete it. They're not saying it's too fucking long.
What requires them to fall off?
Disinterest?
They don't beat it within the time frame of them staying interested in the game, i.e. it's too long.
Or it's just not interesting to them. That could be a factor too.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
if you don't
But
like
then their
those
main
games that
takeaway
much,
wouldn't be that they need to shorten it.
then what would their
They
main
just
takeaway be?
wouldn't
Or
like the story.
Their main takeaway is that they needed to shorten it. That is literally what they said.
Why though? I don't understand.
Because they said not enough people finished it.
Okay, so I understand
You're
that
fighting no one.
they want the gamer to complete the game, correct? But
Such a
I don't
shill
know.
if
right now.
if there is
They
something,
just want them to buy it. I
if-
don't care. Think they
I
care
don't
if they
even. I
beat
don't
it.
necessarily
wife
think
got
that.
shill right here.
I don't necessarily think that the reason why it is that they don't finish it is because it's simply too long. I feel like there's something that they don't like in the game, or that they just fell off because another game came out. I don't know. We don't know if it's specifically too long. We don't know that. I don't know that.
CD Projekt Red probably knows that, and isn't that all that matters? Not you, them.
Yes. That's what matters to them.
They
But
probably done like focus groups to see why people didn't finish it, and they're like, too damn long.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with the length of the game, The Witcher 3. But if some do, I guess you got it. But is it even like the majority of the people that say it's too long? I don't think it's the majority. I think it's like a small minority. But I could be. I could be
You're
wrong
just
about
throwing
that.
stats out like nothing.
throwing out fake information.
But I'm not saying that I'm right about it. I'm just saying I think.
You shouldn't even say that if you don't even know.
I don't know. But what do you guys think though? Do you guys think that it's good that they shorten it?
Mean?
Hold on, here, Alex. Let me give you the literal quote from CD
Oh!
Projekt Red. The
Give me the quote.
senior quest designer. He said, "Looking at the metrics, you see a tremendous number of people played through The Witcher 3 really far, but never made it to the end. We want people to see the full story, so we
Really
did shorten the
far?
main story."
What's really far? Like
Ask him.
like
Tweet at him.
Yeah.
Ask him.
So,
I want to know. Okay,
I gonna know?
I want to know what this quote really far is, because
Ask
if you
him.
get, I will.
do you think they have an exact percentage
What?
to give you? Do you think they have an exact percentage? Like, oh,
probably
they made
not
it through 67% of the
Not
way through.
exact, but like.
So
is
then,
there
what
like
answer
a-
will you be happy with?
Like, I want to know where the most people fall off
So
at in the
disgusting
story.
of a conversation.
I want to know where that is because I don't
It's
know.
so ambiguous though, because you don't know
I
what
know.
they've done
You
leading
don't know,
up to
and you
it.
ask us, and it's like, well, I could literally.
You can base it
we're playing
only
a what
off
if
of-
game, and we could play that for hours. So
You can only
the
base it
real-
off of like hours of gameplay because person A could have gotten to 70% through the main story within, I don't know, a couple of days, and then the same person could have got that same amount of distance within like a week, but they did a bunch of side quests and stuff on the side. So then at that point for them it was too tedious and they're like, I don't want to keep going with this. But they got to the same point, so you can't compare those numbers. So it can only be off of hours of gameplay.
Unless they actually polled everyone, which I doubt they did. But
I'm sure they also have some way to track like in-game statistics, like how many side quests people have done. Like even tracking achievements, that's a really easy way to do it. Like what parts of the main story have they actually completed, and like how many side quests have they done, all that kind of stuff.
Because right now, like the description is kind of vague a bit. It's a bit vague. I would have liked to see if there was like a more of a statistical thing of where they like to quit at or how far they quit at before they say we're gonna make it shorter. We're just gonna
Well,
make
it
it
must
shorter.
have had significance if they made it shorter. If they made this game
'cause
shorter.
that's a big decision. And
Yes,
it's
but
really big to announce it.
But I would
before
like
the
to.
game comes out.
I would like to know the what exactly where at what
Well,
hour
yeah,
point
that's-
where they're
That's
getting.
their information. They will share it if they want to.
Well, I'm saying that they should because and then it sparks like all this shit where it's like, well, how long is like what's your like goal length of a game like right? Like you got to look at that too. Like what is your goal length? And where are you going to shorten it to? Because if you just say it's going to be shorter, well, I don't necessarily agree with that, or I don't want that. Because are you going to cheat me out of
Are
the
you on the
$60
team?
that you're going to
No.
be charging me for this game? I don't think so, because I don't know if the game's going to have multiplayer or not. So like, and I'm going to buy that game mainly for the story. So I want a nice, rich story, long story, bro. Because
You're so demanding.
in my opinion, bro, like when I buy those games,
Bro.
for $60, I know I'm gonna get like a nice, hefty, rich, deep story.
4-hour game.
But when you say that you're gonna make it shorter, I almost feel like okay, well, I just hope you don't make it too short, right?
Make it like
I still
2
want a
hours
nice, good story. 2 hours, that's not worth $60.
2 hours of gameplay and 8 hours of just watching cinematics. That's it.
For $60?
Yeah.
See,
I
we-
bet,
that
I
place
bet
coming-
if they hadn't said anything, you probably would have played him in just fine with the length.
Yes, yes.
Honestly.
Oh, I would have because I played.
You know,
those games
because we
so
so
wouldn't-
then just
shit,
go on
probably
with that
wouldn't have-
mentality.
Well, it's too late now. God, it's already been out there. Now they say we're gonna make it shorter. Why? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
Alex, does it
fans don't
help
want that.
to know
Your-
that it does have multiplayer,
It does.
or
No.
it will have
I
multiplayer.
don't like
It
fucking
will.
multiplayer.
Will. Okay. Will.
Yeah.
When do we know or no?
They say
Who
it's going to be
knows?
a
Who cares?
while.
A while.
Because it's basically going to be an entirely new game that they're just adding on top of it.
Okay. All right. But so far, from what I know from that company, and I played one game from theirs, I buy their game to play the story, to be sucked in, because they have
cares?
some of the best quests in any game I've ever played, bro. So like when they're saying like we're gonna cut down the game, is gonna be a lot shorter, or not a lot, but it's gonna be shorter. I'm like, let's hope it's not too short. I mean, if you're gonna charge 60, possibly 70, we don't know. Who knows? I'm just saying I want my bang for my buck.
Alex, to clarify, they're only talking about the main story.
Okay.
They're not talking about like side quests or anything.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that's what you, as somebody who likes to get lost, just wandering around doing random things. I'm
Absolutely
assuming the
lost.
side quests are the meat and potatoes of the game.
And
to
I
you.
would assume I would guess that this was in development or talked about a long time ago before they announced it. So
That's not something they could do right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was thinking, like, if they're going to start taking things out of the game now, then the story might be having missing pieces, and it's going to be all over the place, which is also would be a bad thing, and would be not worth $60 just to make it shorter. I'm sorry, I can't agree with that.
You hear that, Zach? You work for Project Red, so
I'll
running up the ladder.
Get in
I'll
those
let all the
forums,
Polish
Alex.
people know.
I don't know. Did you guys think The Witcher 3 was too long? Do you see why people fell off?
I got to a point where I was like, well, I just want to beat this story already. But
I mean, just looking back at Andrew's streams, like I
was a
could
month.
tell he wanted to
I
be
could
done.
see people getting. We had an old friend of ours, no longer in the group. He stopped playing it because he got fatigued on it, The repetition of it.
I can see that. But
But I don't give a fuck, so you know what? It's my way or the highway. That's it.
it's not always necessarily my way or the highway. I'm just saying.
You were saying that if it's not long enough, you're not going to be happy.
The people, the main fan base of this game that's going to come out,
Which is not
have
you.
already been fans of CD Projekt Red for a long time and like their games that they make.
What basis
Yep.
do you have for this statement?
Long
Yeah,
time.
you're not a part of that fan base because you've only played one game.
But I can still be a fan, Zach. That's like saying. That's like saying.
You
Take a
just said
sample.
the main fan base who have been a fan for a long time. You just outed yourself like that
Take
you're
a
not
stat
there.
from our own group right here. Only 25% of us have been a longtime fan of theirs.
Yes.
Justified.
that have played
Yes.
more than one of their games.
That have played more. Yes, I agree. But once you have that hardcore fan base, you should not go different ways and anger those hardcore fan bases just so more people can complete your game.
They can
Come
do
on.
whatever they want.
They could, but I don't think it's the
Alex,
right choice.
Witcher 1 and 2 were both way shorter than The Witcher 3.
I understand
and
that,
they're both
but-
totally fantastic games.
But aren't they all like those games are different from Witcher 3 though, right? Like they're somewhat similar, but they're mainly different.
Geralt's in the
This
game.
one is more of an open world, and they just went all in on that open world and made it one of the most detailed open worlds out there right now. Right? That's an
and
that's
you
an
think that
accomplishment.
they're just not going to
This
do
open
that
world
again?
is WoW?
Have you played World of Warcraft, dude? That's the biggest fucking
literally
game
a
ever.
world.
I don't play World of Warcraft.
Played No Man's Sky.
I can
or
tell you,
Minecraft.
Witcher 3's world doesn't even put a dent in World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Well, the Witcher 3's world looks a lot better than World of Warcraft.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Because
Have
it was
people-
made 11 years later.
Exactly.
World of Warcraft is still like top 5 Twitch.
Yeah, it's still
That's
going.
Where's The Witcher?
That's cool. That's cool. That's fine.
Dunzo. Here
Are
in
you
Dunzo
playing
land.
it? Michael's playing World of
I
Warcraft
don't play
right
World
now.
of Warcraft. I wouldn't play it. I would never play that game.
You're a dedicated Witcher fan. You're playing Witcher all the time, right?
Yes, I am.
Are you playing it right now? I don't think so.
No, not right now. But
I have WoW running right now while we're doing
I
it.
just beat
I'm in
the
the middle
Witcher
of a
3
raid.
Wild Hunt like maybe a month ago. Again.
And go again.
I could.
Right now. Go
This is
ahead.
disgusting.
It's
I
too
hate
soon.
This conversation
It's way too
so
soon.
goddamn
Way
much.
too soon.
Everyone who's listening, I'm so sorry.
No, I know, but Andrew, come on. Let's talk about this a bit because you.
You have for like 20 minutes.
I know, but I haven't heard much from you
Just
today.
a bit.
I don't have to say much. There's not much to say.
But in your experience of story games, what's the longest one that you've played and beaten?
Well, I go slow, so that's hard for me to say. So I'm kind of a super outlier.
If you go over
I'm a
time of like
variable
how
in-
long it took him to beat, then The Witcher.
I
That was the
probably
longest
took like
game.
a month to beat The Witcher. So see,
It's not that long.
that is long.
I mean, yeah, but for you,
Or
it's not
2
that
months.
long. Okay, 2 months maybe.
It was over a month.
Red
Yeah, but
Dead 2 is
stretched
also
out
that's
over
up there.
like 3 years.
I don't think that's normal. I feel like a normal time would have been like probably 2 weeks of like every day,
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 hours. See, I'm in the
He's an
outlier. And then if it's shorter, I probably would still take that much time to beat it. That's why I don't say anything, ladies and
that's
gentlemen,
true.
because
You-
I understand that my pacing is so slow that I'm an outlier. So why would I say anything if I'm an outlier? My opinion doesn't matter.
Did you ever think that The Witcher could have been shorter, or do you think that it should have been?
Maybe. I don't remember because I played it. It's been like a year.
It's like a fever dream.
Let's go again, Andrew.
I would go again. I liked it from what I remember. But since I know my playstyle, I'm so self-aware that my playstyle is so bad. Because I mean, it's slow. It shouldn't
Really-
take that long. I bet the
really
developers
bad.
are furious that I took that
Oh
long.
yeah.
Or so disappointed. Like, shit.
Andrew, what was Alex pitching to us like on your stream the other day that it's a different game every time you play it? And then he was just
The
making
Witcher.
the same. Yeah, but that was like his pitch for it.
Oh yeah, he said it's a different experience every time.
different
Because you
game
can
every
just
time
say,
you play
or
it.
your responses to the characters are different. You can just say, oh, I can go, not for the top response, but the one below.
Well, no, what I meant was that it's different every time because, like, there's no way you're going to remember every little side quest, Witcher contract, decision you
Speak
make.
for yourself.
Every single character that you're going
You
to meet
technically
upon.
could if you just play the main story.
You could, yeah. You could do the main story only and no side quests. You could do that, but I don't know. I think that's no fun for me personally. I wouldn't have fun with that. I like
That's
the
fun
side
for the
quests.
people who can't stand how long it is.
Exactly, because you have a choice to do the side quests. You could beat the game with just the main quests in not nearly as long as you would if you do the side quests. So I don't know what the problem is. You have a choice in
Like
that.
every game.
Exactly. You have the choice. So don't complain if you're like, oh, it's taking me forever. Then don't do the side quests. Do the main quest.
You don't know if that's what's going on with
Yeah,
those
exactly.
players.
Because when that thing that they said is so fucking bare bones, there's no detail to it. There's nothing to it. Like, we're gonna make it shorter. Well, we gathered some statistics and this many players didn't finish it. Well, why did they not finish it? There's always a why to what happened.
Well, one, you should ask them. Now, two, there's only two things that's going to happen. One, they're going to tell your ass, they're going to tell you, all right, this is how we gather this information. Or, that's the first option. Or two, they fucking ghost your ass and don't say shit.
They could.
So what are you going to do? Now, obviously, in the first scenario, you get your information. The second, you get ghosted. They don't say shit.
I think that,
and I'm pretty sure if you did ask, they're not gonna say shit. Or if they do, you're gonna get bare bones 2 of whatever they said. It's just gonna be even more broad, and you're gonna get more mad.
I get you. But I think that, well, we should have a reason of why this happened, because there should be a reason for everything.
They said.
No. That's the statistic. But why did they not complete it?
Because
are they gonna do a fucking survey of everyone that played The Witcher? And then if they do, or is everyone who's played The Witcher gonna actually
respond? They could have a poll or a question or a statistic together. Why did you not finish it? A, side quest. B, Witcher contracts. D, whatever. I want to know why they didn't finish it.
You've been out of stats class for a long time. This wouldn't work.
This wouldn't work.
Are you sure it wouldn't work?
I'm positive.
There's no way to actually communicate with everyone. And if there is a way, there's no guarantee that you're actually going to get every single person that bought the game to respond.
Okay.
If you can't guarantee that everyone is going to respond, what the fuck?
Well,
then why even bother?
You can get like a smaller group of people that have played it, whether they finished it or not. And then you can go off that.
Then you only have a percentage of the actual core audience.
Well, like you said, it's impossible to do it.
Then
so this is the next best thing.
So why even do it? Why even do the
Waste
small
your
version?
time.
So we could get it in a smaller statistic and actually see.
But it's just
I can
I'm sure that they've done that.
No one's freaking out about these stats as much as you are.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, oh, it's shorter. I'm gonna take a nap.
I'm just saying that there is no reason for them to make a game shorter. Because
I'm so sorry
to
for
get
everyone
more
at
people
CD
to
Projekt
buy.
Red.
because
They probably see your ass like, get the fuck.
because those quests, those contracts
ass.
are all your choice. You
So,
do them in the
It's
end.
Alex again?
Okay, but Alex,
Just forget him.
the main story is shorter. Those contracts are not the main story. Those are side quests.
So they're really complaining that the main story was
Yes,
that
that is
long.
literally what they said. That's why I read the quote to you.
Well, that is bullshit. I don't agree with that because that story
Your
is pretty
argument's out
short.
of the window.
That
Your
fucking
argument from the
story
very
is
beginning
pretty
out of the
short,
window.
though.
You're arguing that people should play it longer or stick to it, but that's all personal preference. So you're basically arguing with personal preference. So, I mean, if you find all these people that said that and interviewed them, why did you do this? Now let me
Do
tell
you hate
why.
kids? Do you hate America? Why did you do this?
This is an endless cycle of what ifs.
That's
That's why me, Michael, and Zach have barely said anything, and it's just you. And that's why most of the community is like, all right, fine, whatever. See when the game comes out.
Yes, because that will be the determining factor. When we play the game, if you feel cheated or if it's short, if you can feel it like it's actually like too short. You know what I mean? Because I think some games you can feel it. Other games you can feel the opposite. Like, oh, this game is way too long. This game is way too short. Me personally, I thought that, most of the games that I have completed felt all right. I can't remember a recent game that came out that I thought was a little too long or a little too short. I think Jedi Fallen Order for me was a bit too short. I think there was a little bit more that you could have done in that, but I'm still happy with the length of the game.
I think Alien Isolation was a little too long.
Oh yeah, you had a problem with that one.
Well,
You had a big problem.
No, I fell for. I just fell for all the traps.
You did. And I remember, you thought that the game
Because I
ended,
thought when in the game, I don't know, the story played me. It worked. Whatever what they set out to do worked, and I was like, "Oh, these sons of bitches!" And it fucked me so bad because every time I fell for it, I would use all my resources. Like, all right, fuck it, it's the end of the game, and it's like, nope. And I'm like, fuck, I just used all my resources. How am I gonna even get through? And it took me even longer to get through, so I just fucked myself. It was a good game.
You had one of
Great
the worst.
game.
You had one of the most loud streams I've ever heard.
That was
'Cause
such an uncomfortable stream.
It was
to
so bad
watch.
because every time you thought that you were finished. Like, what? Not over?
That was so bad.
Yeah. I don't know.
Great game. Highly recommend.
What about you guys? Too long of a game? Too short of a game? Like, which game do you think?
Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Skyrim. Way too long.
I thought Fallout 3 was actually
That was
pretty,
a bit.
pretty short, though.
That was a bit. I just said Ben. Look at my phone.
I'm looking at my games.
Oh, Mass Effect 3, way too fucking long. I made it like an hour and a half in. I was
But,
like, I'm
see,
done.
That's it?
I feel like
No.
From,
I'm just saying as a bit. I got lost.
I say for most games, I feel like for most games, you can make the argument that if someone like didn't enjoy it, it's too long, because then it's like they're sticking around for something they don't even like.
That is true.
So then it objectively almost all the time it's gonna be too long.
And then there's
If you
games
really
where
it,
like you
too
could
short.
easily like, if you really wanted to, you can beat really, really fast. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
And then
Red Dead
and then
Redemption
the
2.
opposite. You could like how I do it. I
Long.
made the fucking Witcher over a month long. There's no fucking way that they intended it to be that long.
But you played other games, though. So like,
I still it still
But
took me a
Andrew
month.
also like those when he did play, he played in a big chunks. During
and
that
also,
month.
like, sometimes you wouldn't pay attention to some things, so you wouldn't know
Yes,
how to
yes.
beat the enemy.
Yes.
So that's on your fault,
But
though.
that's on me, right?
That is on you.
So that means
And man,
in
I
the
hope the
opposite.
developers are watching Andrew stream.
Oh, they would fucking
Like,
kill
they're like-
themselves.
Like, oh, you need a boat. Andrew walks over the mountain instead. Dies. Walks over.
Oh, there's a boat right there.
Like,
He's swimming across the fucking ocean.
That's what I'm saying. Like you could,
decidedly
if you
doesn't
really
fight the
wanted to, you
enemies
could beat it
underwater.
super fast, or if you really wanted to, you could beat it super slow.
So again, that's just another. That's another
It's
variable.
all personal variables.
That's another
It's the
variable
human
in the
effect.
thing.
It doesn't matter. You
I
can
think-
say,
I
"Oh, yeah,
think-
it takes only 8
so,
hours," but
I
it could
think-
take someone a lot longer, or it could take someone a lot shorter.
So I think that's just so many variables, right? To
Exactly.
call. We're gonna make it shorter. We'll just make it shorter. That's way too many things in there to just like make that decision on short. Sorry, that's what we're going
But
with.
the overall point was that they said it was too long. Who cares about the other variables? At that point, it's very direct of what the problem was.
Well, I for one can speak. I did not think it was that long.
Well, in this game,
Well,
you're gonna
you
be
for
able to
one
play
are
as, like,
one a
person.
very small
three
percentage.
different
less than a
variables, or what is it called? The roles in Cyberpunk. That's gonna take me a fucking year.
Why?
If it took me like 2 months to beat The Witcher, and there's 3 roles to pick out of Cyberpunk, if I wanted to do all 3, that'd probably take me a full 365
and then
days.
when Andrew's going the stealth route, that game's gonna
Oh.
be way too long for him.
That will be a year on its own.
That's gonna take him twice as
because
long.
there's like
No,
a
Andrew's
stealth
gonna
mode.
quit a few times. During
Yeah,
that.
I'll quit.
I guarantee.
And then
'cause
I
he's
was like,
gonna
oh,
be
I
so
forgot
mad
what
at
I
the
was
game.
doing. I gotta start over.
Yep. Like Red Dead.
Oh man, see, Red Dead was an example for me of a game that was too long.
Really?
Yeah, same.
I got to
Really?
a lull. I was
Wow.
like, oh my god.
I
it's
wanted that
still
game to be
going.
over in like Act 3.
No
Me and Andrew have been
fucking
saying this
way.
for years. It becomes a chore at a certain point.
No
been saying
fucking
that.
way.
Yeah.
Why? Like what?
The
what
story
things?
is great, but
Yeah.
the gameplay I hated.
What? You're lying.
He said this
There's-
multiple times. Why are
Yeah,
you
there's
screaming?
too much where it's just like, okay, now I'm just gonna mash A all the way across the map, listening to this guy talk a little bit, mashing A the whole time, not doing anything other than mashing A, and that was like a good 10 minutes just to ride to the start point or of the actual mission. Then I fight, then I ride back, mashing A, listening to more talking, and that's most of the gameplay design. Which
Really?
I think it's too boring. At
They
least
need Rockstar needs to evolve into The Witcher, where instead of bullshit, like they're riding around with dialogue, they just completely cutscene the whole dialogue. Fuck
Okay, okay.
Because in The Witcher, there's scenes where it's like 10 minutes plus of a cutscene, and I'd rather prefer that. I mean, obviously, people are gonna disengage because that's fucking a long time,
Yeah.
and usually when they do those cutscenes, they are literally standing in a room talking. But for Red Dead, they need that so fucking bad because mashing A for 10 minutes is fucking cringe.
Well, you can lock it by going into
like
cinematic.
yes,
mode.
I am playing, but I'm barely paying attention.
See, I agree with you on. I can kind of see where you're coming from on that, right? I understand, like, why not just put a cutscene there? Why not just put a cutscene here? But there's a thing with that whole thing where you walk and, like, you hear the NPC talking. It kind of is like old school games in a way. Because a lot of the games now, they have so many cinematics and all that. Sometimes they're full of cinematics and that's all. So I feel like when this game has a lot, it also has a lot of the old school things of where you're walking and then you hear the exposition of the dialogue and what you have to do. You almost kind of feel more in the game than when just watching a cinematic for me.
No. Those are old school for a reason.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I am a bit old school in that.
And
I like that.
Then I've evolved. Sorry, I'm done.
Really?
Yep, I'm done.
Come, Zack,
for me, it's over. Like I don't care. Like yes, I'm playing. I don't care. I don't care. If it takes out 2 hours of gameplay, fuck it. I don't care. I've broke.
Really?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with it.
Is it just for Red Dead?
Well, all of GTA games, and not
yeah,
all the
they're all,
or all the Rockstar. My bad.
But can I say this?
Yeah.
But that is a complaint.
I mean, Quantum Break took this problem, and just threw it out the window. Fuck
exactly,
it. Let's put cutscene. Fuck it, even harder. Let's put in a
TV show.
And I was like, yes, thank you.
That was so ahead of its time.
Yes,
so ahead of its time that when it came out,
still is.
Nobody liked it.
It still is.
Well, exactly.
Except me.
Exactly.
Remedy games.
A very small margin of people like it. It was so ahead of its time.
It's literally honestly, the show part, for me, yes, but not everyone. But still, the main point, just make it a cutscene. Like, yes, you're gonna lose gameplay time because you know how they always try to track when it comes out. Like, oh, there's 12 hours. Oh, there's 10. I don't care. I would say put in cutscenes, even if you lose gameplay time. Do it. It's not worth it. In my humble opinion.
I see that. But the thing is, they had that beautiful cinematic mode that you could escape
You
with.
still have to hit A.
I will let you know. No, there's a problem with that, though, is it doesn't work perfectly because you'll still crash. Sometimes you'll randomly stop moving, and then you have to go again. And it's not a perfect system. I mean, I understand what they were going for, but it's also kind of just
they made it.
Why couldn't they do a bit more like The Witcher, where The Witcher still has sections where you're walking somewhere and somebody's talking, but they do a fantastic thing where the NPC that's following you and talking, they will go as fast as you can. So if you're on Roach, they will be running like mad and following you, so you can go at whatever speed you want, getting there as fast as possible. You can cut through the forest and you'll still get the dialogue. You can get to the end, even if they're not finished talking. You just start the quest. It doesn't matter. Because they're like, you know what? Let's focus on enjoyment. If this person clearly doesn't care about the story, why should we just have them wait and listen to the stop? Just let them do the quest and get it over with and go back at their own speed.
I get you.
But he doesn't care.
No, I do care. I care. I get what he's saying, but I did play the game a year later than when it came out. So when I played it, I did not have as many issues with the cinematic mode and holding down the A button. I think they fixed it, maybe, or it didn't occur to me or happen to me as much as you guys. But Michael, did you have the same problems as Zach, or was it yours a bit different?
No, me and Zach pretty much always had the same problems. I felt like we were always complaining about the same thing when we would play together. So we had very alike experiences in it.
Man, that's a shame, man. It's a shame.
It is a shame.
The story's fantastic. It's just that gameplay. It's not just Reddit. It's all Rockstar games. Oh God, they need to. They need to evolve their design.
Make an attempt to actually change it. What is it called? Oh, cinematic mode.
What?
That was a decent attempt. They need to go farther.
Oh yeah. Cinematics, they were good.
In my opinion, just do cinematics. Fuck it. The whole thing, that whole journey to point A to point B, just make it a whole cinematic. Fuck it. I don't care anymore.
I think they wanted to do that, but then they saw hey, we got this beautiful ass world. We got this beautiful landscape of the Western America that we want to show off. So we're not gonna have all that. You're gonna ride through it.
The cinematic is just as good. It's just you're not actually riding through it.
I know, but what I'm saying is you could tell when they had those reveal trailers and all that gameplay trailers how much fucking effort they put into that world to make it look the way that it is.
Yeah.
So when you ride it, every time I would ride in it, I would this is amazing. This is awesome.
Every cinematic they had.
But it's also just empty. There's nothing there. It's beautiful, but what can you really do there? Unless you just want to go around hunting animals all day.
Hunt.
There's nothing.
He said that.
I know. I'm saying hunting. You could easily wander.
You can go around pick plants.
No one is as,
You could wander a
as
lot.
mentally disabled, psychotic as you to just wander.
Disabled.
Like do that outside.
Yes, I could.
Even side quests don't take you out there very often, or like they'll have you go somewhere, but like you just have to ride through so much of like beautiful wilderness of just nothing. Just to get there to do something, and then you have to go all the way back through that giant vista where there's absolutely nothing interesting.
There's some nice looking dirt that I'm riding next to on my beautiful looking horse
Yep.
for a half hour.
And I'm bored to death of it.
That dirt took a long time to make, bro.
It did, and
Took a
I
long
appreciate
time to
it.
make.
Put in an
but
option to turn it on or off.
I think,
the ride is either you're gonna manually do it or it be cinematic.
or
'cause at
I could
first-
just skip it entirely.
Yeah, I assume first half of the game, sure, it looks nice. I like doing it. Second half, I'm tired of doing this. I care less about how nice it looks. I just want to get to this starting point for the mission.
Gotcha. I got it.
I feel like Alex is
I
kind
feel
of
like
hurt
I don't
by
get
this.
No, I'm not hating on you. I understand that. I completely understand the gripes and about not just Red Dead, but previous Rockstar games. Could definitely see it being a little bit of outdated. I got it though.
Good.
Story though.
Anything
was
else?
fantastic though.
Yeah, story's good.
Story's fantastic.
Anything else? No.
You were gonna bring something up last week, but we cut you off.
Oh, it was fucking Super Mario 3D All Stars.
Oh yeah, we got that, bro. Tell you what,
Yeah.
But
Super Mario 3D All Stars.
What
It's
is
like
that?
I don't even know what you call it. Like the.
Is that a baseball game?
No, it's the
No,
game
no.
where it has Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy all in one like package, like all like a remastered
Oh.
type thing.
Well, that's
Limited time too,
Yeah.
but we got it the first day, and I'm already 30 stars in to the first game. 64.
Is that a lot?
No.
There's 120,
Okay.
so I'm not even halfway yet. But yeah, having tons of fun with that, bro. But it is a bit aggravating at some points because the movement still sucks, like obviously it's gonna suck, but it's still a fun ass game. I enjoy it quite a bit.
I'm interested in how this goes down because, as far as I know, all four of you are into that. So sharing it must be a bitch.
Not
Played it-
really.
Of like,
No.
oh, Alex is playing it again.
No.
Oh,
There's
okay.
so many other games to play though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrew has battle pass after battle pass after battle pass to go through. Even other people's battle passes to go through.
Oh man.
Oh, I love battle passes. Yeah, so it's all good.
All right.
A great buy.
Here, actually, one thing I did want to throw out there. I did finish Dark, and I'm finally ready for my verdict. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Really?
It's
Nice.
fantastic show.
Wait,
Like,
I
where does
can't
the
remember
budget
what
go?
you said. Did you watch it dubbed or subbed?
I watched it subbed,
Ugh.
All right.
and I think it helps because like I could just tell it would be so weird having their mouths move, but it not going with the actual sound.
Dude, it weirded me out in the trailer alone. Before it came out, I was like, what the fuck? Because in the trailer, I don't know if they had like two separate ones, but in the trailer that I saw, it was dubbed, and I was like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic show. It started out a lot like there was a show Andrew got me into called The Outsider. I think it was an HBO show a little while ago. But I think The Outsider, where it really it kind of dipped a lot, is like it felt like the first half was so fantastic with mystery everywhere. Like you never knew what was going to happen. Like there was so much you were just trying to figure out. But then the latter half is like, okay, I kind of know everything, and you're just waiting for things to finally happen. And
Yeah, it was
it just fell off in quality.
It was kind of it had the Captain Marvel effect, because they kind of showed all their cards kind of
At
early
the
on,
beginning,
and then
yeah.
it's over. Like now you're just
And like it
watching
didn't
the
keep up
characters
that pace.
catch up.
Yeah, and the thing with Dark is though it never stops. Literally, in the very last episode, they're still revealing stuff. I was like, oh my god, this is insane. I
Those are the
loved it.
best
It was
shows.
fantastic. And like I know I was waiting for my review for the end because like that last episode could have made or broke the whole series, but it was amazing. Like there was one scene at the very end where I didn't even realize until the next day just how insane that scene was. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it was just like it was still in my head. I was like, Oh my god, that was insane. Like,
Damn.
the whole show, everything was crazy. One of the best shows.
Holy shit! I think you
Ever
sold me,
for
Zach.
Like, it's fantastic. Super sci-fi, not space, but very sci-fi. So maybe that'll get you in, Alex. That sci-fi never stops. It takes a little while to get to the actual sci-fi bit, maybe like 4 or 5 episodes, but once it's there, oh man, it just is crazy.
Holy shit! I've never seen Zach so enthusiastic about a show.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was really good. I love that show. I wish there was more, but the very beginning, they knew 3 seasons, so they had hints for the very last episode and the first episode. It's crazy.
So well planned out, well written.
Yeah,
with seeds planted.
They had so much stuff, like content thrown in. It never seemed like there was like a dry spell where they were just like doing filler.
Or they didn't know what was going to happen. They always knew.
Yeah.
You could tell.
Yeah, they had a plan from the very beginning.
That's good. Good. Awesome.
Great show.
Anything else? No?
No, I'm all good.
Michael, you good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
All right. Thank you guys for listening to this episode of the podcast or watching on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. We will see you guys next week.